and let's give it a go. Rocket Trebuchet, go! Okay, I was not expecting the entire Trebuchet to blast off, but as I said, we have consistently had more luck launching the arm than anything else. Hello everyone and welcome to the Tears of the Kingdom Trebuchet Challenge. It's nice to finally meet face to face, and oh, I must say, what a beautiful face you do have. Well, today's Tears of the Kingdom challenge is a bit special, and the reason for that is on my first attempt, which you'll see in this video, I completely failed. And so I'm putting it to you, my lovely viewers, to succeed where I failed. I know it is possible. I was able to eventually come up with a working design, but I want to see what you can do after learning from my mistakes. So, what is the challenge? It's simple. Build a trebuchet in Tears of the Kingdom. Now, if you don't know, a trebuchet is a type of catapult which uses gravity and mechanical advantage to launch a projectile. I'll show you a picture of a trebuchet and explain it in the upcoming video to help you get a better idea. The goal is to build one which launches a projectile as far as possible when triggered. I recommend using a Korok for tests as they're easy to track down, and don't worry, this doesn't count as animal cruelty seeing as they're plants, not animals. Okay, I won't get you bogged down in rules here, and just say this. To all extents possible, the design should be one which could work in reality, with Zelda-specific mechanics used only to overcome Zelda-specific limitations. And it should overall fit into the spirit of what a trebuchet is, using only the force of gravity on a counterweight to power the projectile. So, enjoy watching my first attempt, and try to learn from my mistakes when you come up with your own design. I'll show you my working design next week, as well as how to build it. Now, in the meantime, have fun working on your own design, and drop me a link to show me what you've come up with. You can either leave a comment here, or tweet me at @BryanRGillis on Twitter. That's BryanRGillis. And now, enjoy my failure. Hello everyone and welcome back to Astrophysicist Plays. It's a beautiful day here in Hyrule, and today I have a special plan for you all. We are going to make a trebuchet. Now, the game gives us the tools to very easily make a catapult, so why do we want a trebuchet? A trebuchet is a type of catapult, sure, but can we just use the basic one that the game allows us to quite easily? Well, there's a simple explanation for that. Trebuchets are cool. So, let's get building. So, I'm not setting any fixed rules for this one like we did when we were trying to build a plane. Instead, we're going to work with whatever we need and whatever's reasonably easily available to us, and we'll see what comes out. So, before anything else, let's start with the basics. So, first of all, what is a catapult? So, let's start with what the game gives us to work with. So, if you want to get these materials yourself, it's very easy to do that. All you have to do is go to the shrine which contains the materials. In this case, it's Makasura Shrine near Kakariko Village. Go in, construct one of these devices, and then save it to the auto builder. It'll naturally go into the history, and then you can save it as one of your favorites, pull it back up again, and take it out, and you will have it to work with. Now, mind the lightning here. It can pose a problem or two on occasion, but I'll show you right now how this catapult normally works. So, the way this catapult works is it has two components. One, a stabilizer, two, a lever, and three, the third component out of two, the cup. The cup holds whatever you want to use as a projectile. We activate the stabilizer, which applies force to suddenly make the arm of the catapult go upright. That'll shoot whatever projectile is in the cup off into the distance. So let's take out some ammo, also provided via Auto Builder. And we'll give this a go and see how it works. Okay, so I'm just finding out now. Auto Builder does not allow us to disassemble things. But I think we can work around that. Okay. So we'll just set up a pair of rocks to launch. Let the lightning do its thing. Set up another pair of rocks to launch. And activate this to see how well the catapult works. And it tosses the rocks a decent distance. Nothing too fancy there. Lightning has kindly deactivated it for us, but we can always reactivate it. Turn it off, flip it over, reload it, yada yada yada. Now, given the fact that we can't cleanly separate things here, we're going to go need to retrieve a lever with a cup that doesn't include a stabilizer attached. So, I'm learning this as I go, so I'll just have to take a quick break here, head to Makasura's shrine, and pick up some more materials. Be right back. Hello. Do you want to help with the trebuchet? Well, you don't look too enthusiastic, but I can see just the mention of a trebuchet has put a smile on your face, so I'm gonna take that as a good sign. You're welcome to come watch if you'd like. Okay, so before we do any other auto building, let's not forget to add that to our favorites. We can take out the other one that we won't be using and build our arm right here. Okay, here's our trebuchet arm. Now we could try it again like a catapult, and you know what, I think I will. Let's pull out a stabilizer. And we can see how well it launches our projectile. Test run here before I load it. Okay. Ooh, that works well. Alright, time for a live fire exercise. 4... not bad distance. Okay, so that's our basic catapult functionality. So, now let's get to a trebuchet. But first, before building a trebuchet, we have to answer the important question, what is a trebuchet? So, let's go over to this image here, and this shows a few different functioning trebuchets that we can take, and I'll explain here how they work in general. So 1 second to get my pen out. Okay. So we've already discussed the arm of the trebuchet. This is this long thing here. This, generally you want it to be as long as possible to hold the projectile. This helps you get more what's called mechanical advantage. I'll talk about that in a moment, but let's go through the other parts of the trebuchet first. So instead of having just a cup like we have here, the trebuchet has a cup at the end of a sling. The reason for this is, one, it allows you to provide a bit of extra speed. When the arm of the trebuchet gets to the maximum point, the sling can also spin around and give it a bit of an extra boost of velocity. But the more important reason you have the sling is to be able to adjust the range of the trebuchet without repositioning the entire thing so that it's one fixed range will allow it to hit exactly what you want. So if you imagine with our catapult here, how would we adjust the range of it? There isn't really any obvious way. We would have to build the catapult differently, or maybe set it at a different starting angle. Any of those are difficult with just a fixed catapult. So when you add the sling to it, that allows you to adjust the point at which the sling releases. You can adjust the length of the sling, for instance, maybe cut it off here, and then that'll change where it releases and affect the range of the trebuchet. So the problem with the sling, though, is it's very difficult to build one of those within Zelda. They don't really give us rope to work with. Rope does exist and is handled by the physics engine, but at least as far as I know, we can't use it as a building material in any way. So we're going to start without a sling, make one with a fixed length, and then later on we'll see what we can do to construct a sling. Okay, back to the parts of the trebuchet. So we've gone through the sling, we've gone through the arm. The next bit is the fulcrum. This is the axle here, which the arm rotates about. Within Zelda, we can make this using a wheel, which is something that rotates around an axle, so no real issue there. Then, next up is the counterweight. This is something on the opposite end of the arm from the sling, which weighs it down. Now, you can see here that the counterweight is much closer to the fulcrum than the sling is, and this is again important for reasons of mechanical advantage, which I'll talk about again in just a bit once we get back to the game. Then next up, we have just some basic components for structural reasons. The stand to hold up the fulcrum off the ground that allows the counterweight to have room to swing down and beneath it, and a base at the bottom which allows it to keep balance while the whole thing is moving. Okay, so let's get back to the game. Okay, so where do we want to start with building the trebuchet? Well, I think it makes sense to start with the arm of it, as that'll give us an opportunity to discuss just how mechanical advantage works. So let's start with a wheel. This will be part of the fulcrum, which is attached to the arm, and we're going to attach sticks to either end of it. one end will be attached to the counterweight, and the other will be attached to this extended arm and the cup before we start incorporating the sling into the design. Okay, this is just the most basic arm here. It isn't very centered around the wheel. I'm not sure if they'll allow us to center it. Let me just wiggle around, give it a try. That's on the other side. I think that's good enough, honestly. If it gives us problems later, we'll deal with it then. Okay, secondly, we need something for it to rotate around. So I'm going to put this at an angle here. Let's just check if it's actually rotating there. No, it doesn't seem so. Okay, readjust. We might have to put that on straight, but that's no big deal. Okay, let's check now. Do we have free rotation? Yes, we do. Good. Okay. So, next we'll want to stand this up. We'll create a base for it here. Yeah, actually, this bent piece could work pretty well for the start of a base. We'll put this up a higher if we need to. And just use this to extend the base. And we've got a couple of boards on a lever, on a fulcrum. Perfect. Okay. So, yeah, that one's falling. Okay. So, let's attach a couple more logs first. We might take these off later, but for now, it's useful to talk about mechanical advantage a bit. Okay, we're gonna need some stepping stones here. One moment. Let's create ourselves a little bit of scaffolding. No, that's a little bit off balance. There we go. Now it looks a bit of an angle. That should adjust. Good. Okay. One more board. Or post. Yeah, these thin ones are posts. And let's see. Closer to an angle here. That should auto adjust. Okay. So let's pull out a couple of things to work with. I thought that was a star piece for a second, and it's just a silent princess. Okay. Let's pull out a couple of things to work with from auto build. We can't save individual objects in auto build, but I've saved some useful simple combinations. There's double boulder here and a double rock. Yeah. So, let's start with a physics problem for you. Let's say you want to lift up a boulder, but you're not strong enough to do so. How do you do so using only your own strength? Well, you've already said you're not strong enough, so it would seem impossible, but it actually isn't. So, as long as we just mean you're not strong enough to do so directly. What you can do is use one of multiple simple machines to lift it up. A simple machine is a very basic building block for physics and engineering that allows you to incur mechanical advantage on something. So I've been using this term a lot, so I should probably explain what it actually is. Mechanical advantage, in the most basic sense, is a way of trading off between force and distance. So, just some basic physics terms for you, and I'll write out a couple of equations here for you to follow along with. So, when you want to raise something up, like let's say we want to raise this boulder a meter off the ground, that's going to take a fixed amount of energy to do. And energy, or the work done, which is the amount of energy output, is calculated through the equation. 1 second, there we go. Okay. Work equals force times distance. So we have a fixed amount of work we need to do, and we can accomplish that with any variation of force and distance that multiply to that amount of work. Now, in our own power, we have a maximum amount of force we can apply, and that force is going to be counteracted by gravity, and if our own force isn't as much as gravity, we won't be able to lift it directly. But mechanical advantage allows us to get around that by modifying the distance here. What this allows us basically is that if we travel over a greater distance, we'll need less force. So we can do the same work with half the force and twice the distance, for instance. Now, there are multiple ways to do this with different simple machines, but the one we're working with here is the lever. So, what we can do here is attach our rocks here to the lever. It's a bit of an ugly thing, but if we put it at the halfway point, it all collapses on us. Or rather, well, just the extra bit of the arm, but we can live without that. Okay. So, objects here don't really have structural stability, but the joints do. So, that's a lesson that we're going to have to keep in mind when we're building things. We can also see here that there isn't really room for this to swing freely underneath. This means that when we get to building the proper trebuchet, we'll have to elevate it even further off the ground. Okay, so how do we raise those two boulders if we can't apply as much force as two boulders? Well, what we do is we put our counterweight at a position on the lever where it's a greater distance out. That will effectively result in a torque which is kind of the angular equivalent of force, going through the lever and applying that same torque, but at a different distance to the weight that we want to raise. So, let's do some testing here. We'll create a bunch of smaller pebbles that we can use to see how many we need before at that distance it is able to lift the boulders. And then we can demonstrate that the weight of them on their own actually doesn't match up to the boulders. So, give me a second to climb up and put them all up there. And then later, once we have a trebuchet, we can use all of these as ammunition for. Okay, we don't seem to be moving it yet. Let's create a bunch more. Hopefully we won't have to be here too long. Oh! It looks like it broke on us. Okay. So, we might face some problems with the joints of this not holding up. We'll have to look at ways we can handle that. Yeah. Okay, so we are reaching the limit of the amount of torque that can go through one of these. So, let's pull this off and let's just work with these small pebbles for now and see how far we can go before we reach the limit of how strong these joints are. Okay. So, let's start off with a pile of 4 pebbles here. Ooh, this whole thing seems to be weakening. Yeah, it seems that we are hitting some sort of limit of the physics system here. That is definitely unfortunate. Okay, and that gets unattached there, but I think we can do it. Okay, so it feels like there's some amount of total time times force that things can be connected here. So this is going to make our build a little bit complicated, but not impossible. Okay, there we go. We've got 4 rocks over there at distance 1, and a glob of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 at distance 2. So it should be no surprise that 8 rocks outweigh 4. So let's break it apart. 4 and 4. And let's go to this side with 4. Can 6 rocks outweigh 4? No, they cannot. So, you can see we've only got 4 rocks here, and we have 6 rocks at the other side. So, why are the 4 rocks holding it down? Well, this, as we talked about before, comes down to mechanical advantage. that the 6 rocks are at a greater distance, so they effectively have to do half the work as the ones at a shorter distance, which means they are advantaged force-wise. Now, let's clean this up a bit and register where we were in the auto builder. So we'll say for now our counterweight is going to be a glob of 8 pebbles. Actually, we can probably put the 2 boulders on. And let's see, did that stay long enough for our auto build to work? Okay, so let's recollect and see. Will this thing stay for us? Okay, don't have enough room to construct. Okay, that constructs quickly, but then hits the ground. So now I think it's time to break out some of the Zonai devices to hold this up. Here's what I'm gonna do. I am going to put a stabilizer on these rocks at an angle so that when it's rotating around the axis, let's see, can we get it to connect properly? Yes, like that, although it does twist over. Okay, let's change the connection point there. No, not like that. Okay. Okay. There we go. We'll disconnect that side for now. And hopefully that stabilizer will help keep this from falling. No, not really. It tears that off. Okay. But maybe that's just the... Ooh, it does force some rotation about the joints. Okay. Yeah. Alright, let's go back a few steps and try some other things to keep this from falling apart while we work on it. Auto build is very helpful for this, as we can go back to almost any point in our history of working on it. So I think that was a pretty stable design. Let's see, can we... Yeah. Sorry, 1 second. Won't let us pick up those globs of rocks. That's unfortunate. Okay, where What other steps can we use? Do we have one with just the stand and... Okay, that one's pretty good. Yeah, let's go with this. Okay, now let's give the stabilizer another shot, see if that will work to raise this clump up. If not, we'll have to go into the bank, try a few other Zonite devices. Wrong way. I've launched the wrong end of the Trebuchet. My apologies. Yeah. I think that's... let's just give that a go and see. Oh! Worked pretty well. No, it didn't. Okay. Now, if you're working in an area that has a natural boulder you can use, this will probably be easier. You can just take that one, attach it to the end, and be done with it for your counterweight. Let's see. Hopefully that works a bit better. Okay, yeah. Now, that's probably going to break on us, but we'll have a bit of time to work with, and that should be a good checkpoint in our history. Ooh, do we have one with the stabilizer attached? Interestingly, no. But maybe once we attach other things, we'll be able to use those as a checkpoint. Okay, so let's attach one more post here. Okay, and where is our arm? That might have gotten broken at some point. Okay, rebuilding. And there it goes, breaking on us. Yeah, not surprising. Oh, actually, it's just the stabilizer shut off. Ah, that's fine. Okay, that's easy to fix. Let's put this in. Ooh, okay. This might just be... this might work as a basic trebuchet. Let's see how it goes. Now, if we wanted to cheat a bit, we could use another stabilizer to apply force, but that really wouldn't be in the spirit of a classic trebuchet, as in a standard trebuchet in the real world, we don't have those stabilizers. Instead, we would use gears and a winch to turn it, but we can't really construct those in Zelda. We might use a rope to hold it down, but we can't do that in Zelda. So, let's see if we disable the stabilizer was enabled. Okay. So right now what this is telling us is that our counterweight simply isn't heavy enough. So let's add a boulder to it. Ooh. Yeah, that kind of works, but yeah, as I noted before, we aren't high enough off the ground for this to work. Okay, so let's build up. And just to make sure that we don't run into problems, let's build up a fair bit. Okay, gonna need my scaffolding again. Alright, let's hope we're high enough now. Yeah, gotta put the arm to attach to the fulcrum up here first. And we will turn on the stabilizer before we bring this up, so that it should hold it up. And okay, falling over now. That's a bit unstable, so let's see what we can do to help improve stability. So we're going to need to expand the base here. So let's do that in both directions to make sure that it's all nice and stable. Okay, there we go. That'll expand out a bit there. Okay, let's see how this goes. Okay, I'm just gonna shut this off, recover battery power, then we can turn it back on. Oh, not really working. Okay, so I think this stabilizer on its own just isn't able to apply enough force to hold this up. So what do we do? Will the second stabilizer provide us the force we need? Let's give that a try and see. Okay, first we need to make sure this attaches at... Let's try to attach it at roughly the same place. No. Okay. Now, I'm not entirely sure that the stabilizers are the problem here, but in case there are other possibilities, but it's going to be a bit more tricky to work with. So, yeah, let's see. One stabilizer attached to another. That actually means that we're going to be facing problems just at that one joint. So let's attach it to the rock instead. Let's see what happens when we turn these on. Okay. And actually, we don't really care how they attach to the rock. What we care about is the lever. So let's take these and attach them both to the end of this post here. I'll just put them at an angle to adjust the way that they'll eventually go up. Okay. While I'm at it, I'm going to adjust the boulders. We'll need to grab a couple more. And try to attach them both closer to the base of this clump. And actually, let's just use the big boulders. Those are really contributing the most of the weight here. Now, ideally, I want to attach them just to the post, not to either the stabilizers, but, well, we'll work with what we got. Okay, so stabilizers on. Ooh. Yeah, the force seems to have... Yeah. Okay, so... Yeah. Okay, so having them at an angle causes more trouble than it's worth, really. So let's adjust again. And we'll just put them up horizontally. We won't be able to get as much energy out of it, but might still, well, hopefully still work. These stabilizers, the shape makes it hard to figure out exactly how they're oriented. There we go. And put the other on. Okay. Attach that, and no, I think we missed the center of the axle there. It's a bit hard to judge, but... Okay. Stabilizers aren't working for us. We're definitely hitting structural stability problems here with how flexible the joints are. Now, unfortunately, there's not too much we can do about that. So, let's try another solution. So, the other potential solution I had is, instead of using the stabilizers to keep these up, we use something to hold them up. So, one thing we can do to hold them up is if we go to our Zonai devices here. Where are they? Yeah, we should have them around here. I am looking for hover stones if you want to try to find them yourself. Oh, wait, I don't have them in capsules. I think I put them in an auto build. Yeah, that's not gonna help much with the fan. I'll need to break the fan off here. Let's see. No, okay. Okay. I don't have hover stones easily at hand, so what I'm going to need to do is construct basically a stand for those rocks for them to rest on. So let's grab some wood and get constructed. Now, the stand won't be easily removable, unfortunately. So we're going to have to work with one of the few ways the game allows us to destroy things, which is via fire. So to make sure the fire doesn't spread more than we want it to, we're going to create another one of these, which should be immune to fire, at least in theory, and use it for most of the stand. Let's connect it. I'm going to put in another board to give us a bit more space to work with. Okay. And then let's hold up our arm here, get an idea of how far out it's going to be. So let's grab the post off of this, and we'll put it on the side of this. So we'll have it up basically like that. It's going to need to be higher than that, but that'll give us an idea of the horizontal spacing we'll need. We'll want a bit more structural stability here, so I'll put one of these at an angle. Yeah, that's a bit far out. Let's fix that. Hold up, that might be a bit low this time. Will that work? Let's put it a little bit higher. Okay, I think that's good. And then we'll need to put one across. Okay. Now, I'm not sure how well that's going to support these rocks, but let's try putting them up there and see if they'll just rest in place. It's going to be putting a lot of pressure on the joint here, but let's try it and find out. Experimentation always wins in the end. And yeah, okay, that's gonna be a bit higher, but okay, they're actually not falling, so that's a good sign. So let's see if we can attach these to the rest of the arm. If we can put that up, and if it'll stay in place. The height might be a bit off for us to easily do that, but let's try it and find out. Yeah, I think we might have it upside down, but... Ooh. Yeah, we're upside down. Okay. Actually, let's put this up like this first. Yeah, I'm losing the grip on it when it encounters the rest of this structure and probably confuses the physics system a little. Okay, put it like that. That comes to rest. Okay. Then we'll get those boulders up. Can we attach it? No. Okay. We're not quite high enough. We're going to need to extend our scaffolding. Those are... Now our scaffolding is so high, it's hard to pick this up. Let's adjust it so that it's standing up. That'll hopefully make it higher. Yeah. Okay, we're just gonna have to use a recall. So, pass it up to our future self. Oh. That's a disappointment. Okay. So let's see. This bit was a bit off this side, which caused some of the problems. I'm not sure we can align it much better, but... Let's see, it feels like we're getting close. It could just be in the end that the joints in this game just won't do what we need them to do, but I'm not giving up that easily. Now I can't even put up my scaffolding. I forgot to set it up for recall. Okay. Okay, so that's not far enough out, so I'm gonna grab another board, expand that. Yeah, you can definitely see here how that wasn't far enough out to support the rocks. I suspect all the motion would have caused it to break anyway, but we can fix one issue relatively easily. Okay. That'll support the rocks better, certainly. Now, the other issue we're going to face is putting this up, although actually right now it looks like since it's all in one piece, if we pass it up to ourselves, hopefully it'll stay in one piece. And we can just put it up all at once. Okay, let's do this. I was gonna say do this carefully, but I don't think that was very careful. Okay, Brian. Carefully. Actually, stop. Okay, up high, that'll do. Okay. Yeah. Whoa. No, that didn't work. Okay. Okay. Adjusting the scaffolding so we can be directly in front of it now. And let's try grabbing it by the wheel this time. Back up. Okay. Might be in business here. Make sure the attachment point is right. Ooh. Spoke too soon. Okay. Alright, so, question. What is our problem? Now, let's rewind, watch that again, see if we can figure out what happened. Okay, we had it up and... So, yeah, I think the problem now might be the other arm, actually. Once we're supporting the rocks and holding it up, the most sensible way for it to rotate is for the other side of it to fall. So, are we going to need to support that as well? Let's see. Yeah, we could support it potentially. Well, let's try supporting it, see how that goes. I worry about adding weight to that side, but it might just be necessary in the end. That's at an angle, I'm not sure if that'll work, if that's high, too high. Let's give it a try. Things are getting awfully messy here. Yeah, that burn pods. Okay. One more go at that. You know, so far we've had more luck launching the arm of the Trebuchet than we have launching any projectiles from it. So, worst case scenario, we're just going to launch this arm into space and be done with it. Gotta fix the base here, or we could, well, tumble over there. Almost had it. Well, maybe. I could have been far off with how things been going. Okay, that's not the part I want to attach, but maybe I can still work this. Ugh, that's falling apart on us again. Okay. Now, who wants to bet that as soon as I attach this to the wheel is going to fall off? Well, the wheel didn't fall off. Okay. Let's put the boulders up, see if we can rest them, at least. Blood mood on the rise. Not a good sign for how we're doing here. Yeah, no. Okay. Alright, let's pull back, regroup. Think about this for a bit. Now, it's possible that there is another way to go about things which we'd have better luck with. But the question is how? Yeah, the tricky thing with this build system is that in some ways it's very stable, materials can't break, but in other ways it can be more unstable than you'd like. All of the joints in particular are too flexible. Now, let's see, is that actually rotating about that? Oh. What I want to test right now is if and how the wheel will rotate around that. Is it free spinning? No. No, I don't think that'll solve our problem. We're still going to face the issue of too many and too weak joints. Yeah, I just don't think we have the material strength, the grounding for joints, to make a proper trebuchet. So, what's the next best thing? Well, we've got the base here. Yeah, I don't think we need this part. Now, we can set something up on a wheel, have it spinning. So let's start with the arm resting. Where is the arm? Okay. So, here's the end of it. There it goes. We'll have to rebuild that. So we can attach this arm to a post and the post to a wheel. Where did the wheel go? And we can just grab a new one. If we have any left. So the first thing we're going to try to do is get this attached, but laying down just so it'll stay there. Yeah, gonna have to pick it up a different way, I think. Okay. Felt like we almost had it there. Let's try again. I'm trying to attach it when it's already at an angle so that we don't face as much force of it falling down. No, that's not gonna let us do that very easily. It's a bit long to go at a 45-degree angle. Now let's give it a try horizontally and hope it doesn't break. Huh. Well, not quite what I was intending to do, but... I'm just gonna try it with a shorter arm, see if that'll make things a bit easier. Missed my opportunity there. No, that's not coming up. So let's attach the wheel directly there and see if that works. wrong attachment point. Maybe if I put the wheel first, we'll have better luck. Okay. There we go. We've got something that theoretically might work. So, how are we going to apply force is the question now. So, at this point, I don't care about setting up with counterweights. We've shown that the physics system really can't handle that. So, how about a rocket-powered trebuchet? How many rockets? All the rockets. Yep, wrong direction there. Yeah, we're gonna have to be very careful attaching these as jiggling them off is liable to make the whole structure break. Yeah, and of course, now we have too much weight. I'm loading up the rockets anyway. Okay, let's just have a look at this. Can we fix it easily? Yeah. Okay. Okay, looks like that's barely stable. And we have more rockets to attach. Okay, what do you think? That's all the rockets I have. Let's use a stabilizer as a projectile. And let's give it a go. Rocket trebuchet, go! Okay, I was not expecting the entire Trebuchet to blast off, but as I said, we have consistently had more luck launching the arm than anything else. So, let's clear some space, rebuild, and see if we can figure out a way to make that work. So, the problem we faced here is that we had so much upwards force that the entire assembly just took off. So, the best way to counteract that is more force holding the whole thing down. So, let's start. We will expand our platform a bit. And in particular, we're going to hold it down at the base with some boulders. No, not those. Those are pebbles. Sparing no expense here to create the finest of trebuchets. Oh, wrong one. Cannot attach anymore. We've hit our limit of attachments, but we can always just put them on and let them rest to hold it down. Okay. Rocket-powered Trebuchet, attempt number 2. Any predictions as to what will happen this time? Place your bets now. Okay, loading our projectile. I said loading our projectile. I know it's scary, but you can do it stabilizing. There you go. Trust me, this will all be alright. And once more, we've launched the arm. Oh. Zelda, I love your physics system, but you couldn't give us joints just a little bit stronger. Okay. I have one last idea. Gonna need to reload an old save for this before I expended the rocket. Okay. Clean slate here. And let's see. Now, I did prepare some logs we can use, but unfortunately not on their own. So, final attempt here. Okay. Auto build, let's start with the arm. Now, the arm actually comes pre-built with its own fulcrum of sorts. What we just need is something for it to rotate around and keep it from going off into the air. So what I was thinking we could use were some logs. And I prepared this here, but unfortunately we can't easily separate them. They do seem to separate eventually after one of them takes enough damage, but I suspect the log is going to be destroyed before the boulder. But even so, if we attach it at the edge, make a duplicate. No, not that one. Like that. Okay. So that'll give this something it can reasonably rotate around, a nice heavy base. Let's attach a couple more boulders to it to generally keep the base in place. Now we don't want the boulders to go too high up or they'll provide too much torque and we won't have the necessary energy to get this off the ground. But like that, yeah, ought to work. Okay. Time to take out some sonar devices. And let's use an actual bomb as our projectile this time. We'll put that safely away so we don't prematurely trigger it. And you know what? We started off with stabilizers. Let's end with stabilizers. Let's attach some to the base here. Really pulling out all the stops to get this right. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Time once more to place your bets on what happens. Will this take off again? Will it stay together and launch the bomb? Lift off in 3, 2, 1. Ooh, I think it stayed down. We might actually have a catapult. The only problem is I have no idea where the bomb went. Okay. Well, there's one way to find out for sure. It's potentially deadly, but I think in the name of science, it's justified. Link, we're going for a ride. Best refill health before this, because this is going to hurt. Luckily, it's going to hurt you more than it hurts me. No. That was disappointing. Okay, you know what? I've got a better idea. Before this started, I noted the location of a volunteer test subject. So, let's go find our test subject and see what they think. Hello. So, where's your phone? Okay, down the river. Alright, well, let's bring out the device. And, oh, adjust direction. Okay. So, now you see why trebuchets have a sling attached. If you watch the Korok be launched, it went almost horizontal out of our launcher, whereas we would want it to be released at something of a better angle so that it would gain more distance. So let's build another and just see if there is anything we can do to adjust the exit angle and get our poor lost soul back to his friend. Or her friend, or their friend. Okay. So, how would we adjust the exit angle? One thing we could do would be to stop this prematurely. We would have to put something in the way that will catch it, which could be tough to build. Let's check. Do we have any Zonai devices that might be useful for that? Not really. Don't have any hover stones. Well, I do have one other idea, but again, you may not like it. Since bombs can activate other devices, what we can do is... Oh yeah, gotta take you out of this before we can lift it up. Uses the bomb to trigger everything. Okay. Well, that didn't work. Alright, well, I think we learned today that failure is always an option. Often one of the most important things you can do is realize when you've hit your limit, and I think we've hit our limit here. We're all out of building material, we've launched a Korok somewhat successfully with a rocket-powered catapult, and I'd say any day in which you launch a Korok with a rocket-powered catapult is, on the whole, a good day. So, thank you everyone for watching today, and I will see you all later. Bye! Thank you very much for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, subscribe, and click the bell to be sure you get notifications of new uploads. See you again soon.